Okay, so this is a third day of doing this, but the reason why there is a third is because we've been focusing on finding the value of each x and y, where we have to be prepared for them to ask specifically for one or the other. So labeling is important. For instance, number 1 says Joey has a handful of dimes and quarters. So I'm going to use x for dimes and y for quarters, unless they preference differently, which they don't on here because I made it. That being said, there are 22 coins in all, and the value of the coins is $3.55. I don't know how many dimes, and I don't know how many quarters. I just know that there are 22 of them. I know that a dime is worth 10 cents and a quarter is worth 25 cents. So then I know that I have $3.55 total. Again, this is no different than what we've been doing. So this is where I want to be a little strategic. Since I know how many, they want to know how many dimes. To figure out, since I know dimes is x, I don't want to eliminate x. I want to solve for x and save me some time. So I want to eliminate y here. So I'm going to eliminate by multiplying by negative 0.25. So I have negative 0.25x minus 0.25y equals negative 5.5. That being said, my y's eliminate, which is what we want because we want x. So then I have negative 0.15x equals negative 1.95. I divide that by negative 0.15. So I know I have 13 dimes. And since I know that I was looking for the dimes, I don't have to solve for y. So my answer is 13. So strategy more than, so think smarter, not harder, I guess. Number 2, a group of friends go out for lunch. If 2 order hot dogs and 4 order hamburgers, so we're going to use x for hot dogs and y for hamburgers. I know 2x plus 4y equals 23.50. I know 5 hot dogs and 1 hamburger equals 18.25. I want to know the cost of a hamburger. So that means we want to solve for y. Now again, it's up to you. But since I want to solve for y, that means I don't want to eliminate the y's. I want to eliminate the x's. But this one's not the most user-friendly because in order to eliminate the x's, I need to multiply the first equation by 5 and the second equation by negative 2. Now this is to help me so I don't have to work harder later. So this ends up being 10x plus 40y equals 2.35. Oh, that is completely wrong. Sorry. 23.50. 117.50. Now the second equation I want to multiply by negative 2 so that way I can eliminate my x's. So when that happens, I've eliminated my x's, which means I'm solving for my y's, which is what I want because I want to know how many hamburgers. So it would be 38y equals 81 divided by 38. Now, it's okay to get a decimal, crazy decimal as it may seem, because we're talking about the cost, and I'll triple check my math here in a minute. But since we're talking about the cost of a hamburger, I'm going to round to the hundredths place, so it should be $2.13. Might have been a little iffy on my math here, so that might be my mistake. Okay, number 3. In a vegetable store, a customer paid $8.80 for 3 pounds of tomatoes and 5 pounds of potatoes. So I'm going to use x for tomatoes and y for potatoes. I know 3x plus 5y equals 8.80. The second customer paid $15.15 for 7 pounds of tomatoes and 6 pounds of potatoes. They want to know the price of tomatoes. That means we want to figure out what x is. So here I want to be strategic. I don't want to eliminate x, I want to eliminate y. Well, in order to eliminate y, I want to multiply the first one by 6 and the second one by negative 5. So then 6 times 3x is 18x plus 30y equals 52.80. And then the second one by negative 5. So my y's essentially cancel. And so I have negative 17x equals negative 22.95. Then I divide. Now again, because we are talking about the price, it's okay to have a decimal answer. Now I was strategic because I was trying to find the X, which was tomatoes. So tomatoes cost $1.35. So if I look at 414, Jason, a vendor at the baseball park in Houston, sells soda and water. The cost of water costs $1 and the soda costs $1.50. He sold a total of $2.30 and the drink total was $2.85. So this is item total, cost total. We're going to use X for water and Y for soda. So vice versa of what it was mentioned here. So X plus Y equals $2.30 and $1 for X and $1.50 for Y equals $285. That's a lot of water and soda. Now again, I want to be strategic. Actually, it doesn't even specify. Oh yeah, it does. It says how many sodas were sold. So since I'm asking for sodas and we labeled sodas as Y, I don't want to eliminate Y, I want to eliminate X. Well, in order to eliminate X, I do need to change the values of all these. So that way I can eliminate my X's. So I have 0.50 Y equals 55. Then divide 55 by 0.50. So the number of sodas I have is 110, which we want a whole number because we want to know how many. Again, strategy. Number 5, Eddie and Janice are buying school supplies. Eddie buys 5 notebooks and 6 binders. So we're going to use X for notebooks and Y for binders. 5X plus 6Y equals 25.45. And 4X plus 8Y equals 30.60. And again, I want to be strategic. Since we want to know the cost of each binder, that means we want to figure out what Y is. We don't want to eliminate Y, we want to eliminate X. So to eliminate X, I'm going to multiply this one by 4 and this one by -5. So this ends up being 20X plus 24Y equals 101.8, and then since my x's cancel, this would be 16y, or negative 16y equals and since we can have the cost be a decimal, the cost of each binder would be $3.20. Last one. A group of 40 children attended a baseball game on a field trip. Each child received a hot dog and a bag of popcorn. Hot dogs were $2.25 and popcorn was $1.75. So item total would be, since I don't know how many hot dogs were bought, we're going to use X, and how many bags of popcorn, Y. We just know that there were 40 kids. And then the hot dogs were $2.25 each and $1.75 for the popcorn, and that a total was $83.50. So again, strategy. If I want to know how many hot dogs, we said hot dogs are X, which means we don't want to eliminate X, we want to eliminate Y. So I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1.75 to make it opposite. So it would be negative 1.75x minus 1.75y equals negative 7d. My y's cancel, so 225 minus 175 would be 0.50. Oops, x. And then this would be 1350. Now we don't want a decimal answer here because we want to see how many. So the number of hot dogs would be 27. Strategy.